Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of My Kommunity. I'm here with the lovely Victoria Sharp. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great.
Good. Great is great. So for today's topic, we're going to talk about spooky stories. But before we get into the topic, I want Victoria to do a little introduction of herself to the My Kommunity audience. Victoria?
Yeah. So I'm a very science-minded person. Right now, I'm a scientist. I just got my PhD, but I also have a more like spooky artistic side. And a couple years ago, I used to have a radio show called Spook Tunes, and it was all about like music that kind of haunts you. Because a lot of the time, certain like chord progressions or certain lyrics stick with you. And I just wanted to have a show that was dedicated to that. So yeah, even though I'm a very scientific person, I do think that there are kind of supernatural things out there that we can't always explain. And I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, I think we all are. I mean, when it comes to supernatural and scary stuff, it's the mind wanders for sure.
It most certainly does.
Yeah, it does. But all right, that was an excellent introduction. Thank you for letting our 5 listeners tune in. And
High five, listeners.
and Victoria, if you can now tell your spooky and scary stories, if you please.
Sure. Okay. So the first one is a true story. And maybe it has to do with me having an overactive imagination as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So, have you ever been to Kinnelon, New Jersey, or just like Morris County?
Morris County, yes, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is very woodsy and like spaced out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where my hometown was. So Smoke Rise.
Mm-hmm.
And even like visiting it back a couple years ago, it's still very like quiet, and it seems like it keeps to itself as like the overall vibe of the town. So I have 3 other sisters and we all grew up together. And my room was on the first floor in the house. And I was always really scared of the dark. Probably still am.
It happens. I'm scared of the dark too. I got my nightlight in my bed. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. So I was really scared of the dark. And I think more so I was scared of like people passing by, because it's so, I don't know if desolate is the right word, but like very spaced out. So if somebody's passing by that closely, maybe they don't have good intentions, because you're not just like creeping by people's windows like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. Or just thinking that a bear was going to come in my room.
It could be one or the other.
Yeah. So yeah, naturally, like when it would get dark out, curtain would come down, and like I'd make sure like every little crack was covered, like out of fear of like not me being in my room, but someone being able to see in.
Yeah, seeing like the shadowy figure in the window or something like that. It's the classic. It's the classic horror trope. I totally get it. Yeah.
Yeah, so just being very scared of the dark and like always ready to be like, what was that? And like you can hear like the tree branches groaning in the wind and everything. And one of those nights, I think I would get night terrors as kid. So yeah, overactive imagination. Yeah. So, one night I kept hearing like this scratching noise. And I don't remember this at all. Like my mom told me maybe a couple years after the fact, but I like would be really upset and like run upstairs to her and be like, it's the Scratch Man.
Oh, shit. Yeah. That's not good at all.
Yeah. And then like, I think it happened maybe a couple times. Like I would hear just like right at the window, something that sounded like it was scratching, not necessarily on the window pane, but like brick next to it. Like,
oh,
yeah.
Yeah. No, good. No.
Yeah. And then I think maybe after like the second or third time I told her, she went outside like to where my window was, and there were matches.
Oh, so someone or something was definitely
Yeah.
up in your business a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you tell me whether it was a real person or a little ghosty poo leaving some matchsticks behind. But yeah, it really scared the bejesus out of me as a kid.
Yeah, sorry about your bejesus. No good.
They're gone. Yeah.
Yeah. That's absolutely terrifying, and like I feel like especially when we are kids, we do have that extended imagination, right? Where it
Yeah.
just every little noise and every little bit like scares the crap out of us. Like I remember one time I was in my back porch with my buddy, and he was sleeping over, and we were playing like Diddy Kong Racing. I don't know if you ever played this game for like N64, but we were playing the game, and just a lot of whistling winds and just creepy noises, and you know like the Homedale area is very
Yeah.
foresty, so
Yep.
so we heard all these winds and stuff, and my dad, because he's a troll, he comes he's like, oh, so you guys are gonna sleep outside, because it's like we wanted to do like an all-nighter. We were like, you know, like 10 years old or something like
Invincible. 10
that.
years old.
Exactly. And we were like, yeah, we're gonna stay up all night. And then he smirks and he's like, I wouldn't. And then he like slinks back, leaves us, and then we look at each other, and like, I think I'm almost ready to cry, and my buddy's like, let's just go back in.
You've created a monster.
Exactly. It's one of those situations where like just your mind wanders, and I feel like that's it's both a beautiful and like a unfortunate thing when we're kids, where it's like anything goes, really, like anything can happen.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more positive, but like on the subject of parents like doing things to like scare you almost.
Sure.
My mom did something else. So I'm not saying she was the scratch man or anything. So I think on Christmas Eve, like we weren't going to sleep, so she actually like went outside with some like jingle bells and like branches to be like, ding, and like make everybody go to sleep.
It's Santa. You gotta go with that. Yeah.
Just harmless.
No,
I'll take that or
that's
scratch
adorable.
man anyway.
Yeah. No, you definitely don't want the scratch. You got Santa instead. That's great. Yeah. Okay, so we heard about the Scratch Man. What other scary tales do you have on your docket for us today, Victoria?
So I think a book got written about this recently, and it was like a big thread on Reddit a couple of years ago. Okay. So when you find a random staircase in the woods,
okay,
and like they're in really good condition, they don't lead anywhere, and there aren't any like houses, like they're just there.
Okay.
And it reminds me a lot of like fairy circles and like when you have mushroom circles, and it almost feels like it's a pathway somewhere else. And I don't think I've found any staircases in the woods, but like, I don't know, I'm seeing something that's like untouched and in a place where it doesn't really make sense. It's very like liminal.
Yeah.
And kind of disturbing in a way, and like I'm never gonna walk up those stairs.
Yeah, it's a little like unnerving, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like going in the woods and then seeing like an abandoned cabin out of nowhere. It's like,
Yeah.
are you gonna go in that cabin? Curiosity killed the cat, so probably not.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where you're experiencing something that just is out of place and just doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. And because of that, it's a little bit unnerving, a little scary.
Yeah. And nature itself is very, very unnerving. The things that nature will do.
Yes, absolutely.
I have this like, not obsession, but like I really like learning about fungi. So like mushrooms, stuff like that.
Okay.
And I think it's a little scary how smart they are. And like, I believe there's a type of like fungal infection that like takes over ants. and like gets into their brain and makes them like do what the fungus wants them to do.
Really?
Yeah, not that far off from The Last of Us.
Yeah. That does sound like The Last of Us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another book that's been read recently. So, not necessarily my story, but if you're familiar with The Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe,
Okay.
so somebody rewrote it and called it What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. And it's all about how, like, this person's friend, he came to visit, and, like, yes, obviously the house is falling apart, but, like, there's something deeper going on. And it's more so that, like, the fungi are taking over, and, like, you end up seeing, like, really creepy rabbits that are running around, and, like, they're not hopping the right way. And I don't know. I think fungi can be like really cool, but also really scary. And I think that there's also some kind of intelligence going on there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I don't know if you have heard about this or something like that, but it's like when you talk to plants in like either positive or negative tonality,
Yeah.
they tend to like understand this. I don't know if you've heard something like.
I have. And I
Yeah.
also, it might be a little cuckoo, but like when it comes to my plants, if one of them just dies out of nowhere, like I've been told that it's because somebody sent a curse like after you or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. And
Damn.
plants took one for you.
Well, thank you, plants.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty wild. I didn't know that one, but man, I mean, that would explain all the plants I have dying.
That or overwatering.
Yes. But yeah, no, I feel like when it comes to nature and just the world in general, there's so much stuff we just don't understand, right? Like
Yeah.
we experience like our day-to-day life, like we go to our jobs, we interact with typically the same people over and over again each day, but when you kind of deviate from the path, and then it's like, yeah, let's take like a walk through this like forest. It's like,
Yeah.
you never know what you're gonna find, really.
Yeah, both as like a person, as a woman. Like,
Oh, especially as a woman. Yeah, no, I remember, and I don't take like offense to this. Like it's just how it is because of the times. I met my wife on Hinge.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's suggested by Dan, actually. Yeah, funny enough. And
It all worked out.
yeah, and what's it called? I asked her on the date, and my suggestion was like a park walk and like a diner run or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And she shared her like location with her sister and stuff like that. And she's like, if you don't hear from me and I get like,
Yeah,
murdered,
yeah.
like this is why, because he's taking me to like XYZ park and like stuff like that. And like, I get it. It really,
Yeah.
it really is just like an unfortunate thing, especially for women, as you put, where it's just a level of unsafeness in the world.
Yeah, and I think in general, a lot of scary stories kind of play on like the fear of the unknown, and like they're almost meant to teach you.
Yes, absolutely.
For instance, kelpies, so the water horses, and I think if you touch one, you can't remove your hand and you end up drowning because they go back into the water. And I think it's more of like a cautionary tale of don't approach horses in the wild because they're very dangerous.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Like all these like folklores are like lessons in disguise,
Yeah.
right?
I think that there's some truth to them.
Yeah, absolutely. They all have their purpose and reason for existing besides for our entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to know about Mothman though. Like what's
What's going on there?
Have you seen the statue?
Yeah, they have a legit statue of him, right? Yeah. Yeah, the cryptids are wild. Bigfoot, like all those
And the
guys.
Jersey Devil.
The Jersey Devil, a classic, especially for us Jersey folk over here. It's a wild thing. All the cryptids and what is it, cryptology or whatever, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually visited. I think it's called Double Trouble State Park, and it's where the mother of the Jersey Devil used to live. I forget her name, but I think me and a couple of my high school friends went there for like a spooky night. Like the high school had hosted it. And of course, like there were cheap scares, stuff like that. But yeah, it was interesting to be in a place like that. And I think sometimes when you're in different spaces, it's almost like you can feel echoes of like if a strong emotion happened there.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And so that's why I don't entirely write off things if they can't be explained by science.
Right. Like you kind of like feel like the presence or like the aura of those left behind kind of, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, there's definitely something to that. Like I was thinking about this, like even when you go to like a wake or funeral, there's a level of emotional like sadness that like, and obviously it's resonating through the room, but it's more palpable in my opinion than just feelings. Like there's something going on there. But I absolutely, Victoria. So before we wrap this up, do you have any advice when it comes to telling spooky stories or experiencing spooky things, and also just worldly advice for our guests?
Okay. So I think both for spooky stories and worldly advice, trust your intuition. 100%. Like if something's telling you that this isn't right, even if it's weird, like, oh, I'm going to Target and like I just get like a weird feeling. I think sometimes the universe works in ways to tell you like, I don't know about that.
No, I totally agree with the trust your intuition. Katie tells me that all the time, where it's like whatever you kind of believed at first, like believe it, because it's that like gut intuition that you should follow through with.
Yeah, and just pay attention to your like the atmosphere that you're in, because if you're constantly putting yourself places that drain you, then like it's kind of tough to live like that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
But all right, Victoria, it was a absolute pleasure having you on the podcast.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah. Thank you for being on it. And for our next guest, we're gonna have none other than Mothman Twist.
And I'm not here.
And have a good night, everyone.
Good night.